He freaks out. Like, this man just, what? Like, he came unglued. I cannot film an intro to save my life today, so hello, my name is Lydia. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure to follow my social medias, and let's just jump into the video. I want to start off by saying this real quick because I feel like if I didn't, I would just feel accountable. I want to say that this is not a completely glamorous story. It's not a story about how I met someone online and I just got thousands of dollars and everything was fine. My story could have gone way wrong. Like, you really don't know who you're meeting on these apps. I was so unsafe and I would never do anything like this again. So just please don't blindly follow in my footsteps. I am so lucky that nothing terrible happened to me. I'm not going to use this man's name. I'm not going to expose who he is. Something that I unfortunately have to say is that someone out there will know who this man is. Like, it's not hard to connect the pieces if you know certain people. So if you are watching and you have the random urge to tell him about this video, I don't know what you're gonna gain. I am putting it out on the internet, so if he sees it, he sees it, but I don't need that energy in my life. He's crazy and I don't need it. I'm not exposing who he is. I'm not doing anything wrong. So if you connect the pieces, that's on you. Just leave me out of it. Now that we have that out of the way, let's just jump into the story. So whenever I was 18 years old, I was still in high school, but I was like on independent studies, so it didn't really feel like I was in school. I had jobs and I worked all day. I was sick and I was home from work one day and I downloaded Tinder and I was at my grandma's house. As I was swiping, I wasn't looking for a sugar daddy. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just having fun, seeing what was out there. I don't really know why, because I never really found people in my hometown attractive, but I was just swiping for fun. I was finally old enough to have a Tinder account. So I see this man that super liked me, and I don't know, what would I have wanted with an older man? Like, at that time, older men were not on my radar. Like, I was 17 years old months prior. My dumbass is like, oh, he super liked me. Let's see what he wants to say. And I noticed that he owned a company in my hometown that, like, was, what's the right word? Notorious? People just know what it is. Like, you grow up knowing what it is. And so I matched with him and I had no intentions of ever meeting him, nothing. I just wanted to see what he wanted to say. So instantly I get a message and he's like, hey baby girl, I want to spoil you and I want to make you my queen and I'm just looking for someone to treat nice. And like, when he was sending me these messages, they were like all spelled wrong. And like, it was just very confusing. Like, I wasn't really understanding what he was trying to say. And there wasn't a language barrier. It was just that, like, I don't know, that's just how he typed, I guess. Maybe because he was older. Guys, trust me, I wish that I could pull up screenshots, but I have no intentions of downloading Tinder ever again in my life. I don't want to open that box just to pull out some old receipts. Like, no. He's messaging me and telling me that he wants to spoil me. He asks me if I know what a sugar daddy is. At this time, I knew I was on social media. I was a young girl. I knew what sugar daddies were, but I had never even thought about having one ever. I was the type of girl that was like, can I get a sugar daddy that doesn't want any sugar? Like, I had that mentality about sugar daddies. So I messaged him back and I'm like, yeah, I know what sugar daddies are. And he tells me that he wants to be mine. And, ooh, my Chipotle is almost here. I gotta hurry up. Anyways, he tells me that he wants to be mine and I'm like, me? I work at Taco Bell, sweetie. I make like $400 every 2 weeks. Like, yes, you can be my sugar daddy, of course, as long as they don't have to touch you. That was my mentality back then. At this time, I did not really know how to hustle. I've always been good at making money, but I didn't have like the natural brain of like, this is how I make the most amount possible in the shortest amount of time. And like, I wasn't even thinking like that. Of course, my neighbor's out on his balcony right now every time I film a video. My camera died and then my Postmates came, so I stopped and ate. But we're gonna continue. I did not know how to hustle. Like, it just wasn't in me yet, right? Speaking of hustle. So for some reason, I get the idea to tell him that if he is real, then he needs to prove it to me. And he says how, and I say send me money on PayPal. And he tells me that he doesn't have a PayPal. So for some reason, when this man tells me, I can bring you the money though, I say okay. But I tell him that I'm sick, because I actually was. and that he needs to leave the money on my car in an envelope and just leave after, and that he can't see me because I'm sick. What the fuck? Like, what was I thinking? So he says, to my surprise, he says okay, and I give him my grandma's address, my poor grandmother. I honestly wasn't scared because my car was parked like a few houses over, but still, like, what the fuck was I thinking? And so my neighbor's watching me. All my friends think that my neighbor is so hot, and he always sees me like filming these fucking videos talking to myself, and he probably thinks I'm crazy. Who cares? So long story short, I get a text from him and he says that he's here, and he's like, are you sure that you can't see me? And I'm like, no, like, you literally cannot see me like this, honey. And so he leaves it on my car, and I wait like 20 minutes. I look out the window. My grandma doesn't even know what's going on. I look out the window, and if I told my grandma this story, like if she sees it or my mom tells her, she'd probably think it's funny. But anyways, I go outside after like 30 minutes once I make sure that he's gone, because I was scared. I was like, what if he's waiting by the mailbox? Like, what if he's like secretly watching? So I go outside and I just like sneak out and I grab the envelope, and it has my name on it. I looked far and wide for the picture because I know I have a picture of this envelope, and I posted about it. I'm not gonna waste time and find it right now, but I think I can find a picture of it, so I'm gonna include the screenshot when I'm editing. That there was indeed an envelope with my name on it, and the envelope contained $400. $400 with my name on it, and that was it. And I was like, my mind was blown, because that's how much I literally made from Taco Bell in like 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, what did I just discover? What part of my brain did I just unlock? So basically, we talk a little bit, and I was really ballsy back then. Like, I had nothing to live for. Like, I was just wild. So I tell him that I'm gonna meet him, and that I'm gonna meet him at his work. So one day before his work was open, I go in there and I meet him and we talk, and then I tell him that I'm going shopping with my friend, and he gives me $300. Now I know someone out there is watching is gonna be like, this is not a sugar daddy, he only gave you blah blah blah. Okay, listen, I was 18 years old, and when someone is handing me how much I make in 2 weeks, that's what I considered a sugar daddy at the time, okay? This continues for weeks. Like, anytime that I want money. I got a new car, I went to him and he gave me $400 right after. Like, anytime I wanted to go shopping, he would give it to me, and of course my dumb ass just wasted it all on makeup and food and shopping and whatever. That was something about me, is that between the ages of like 18 to probably even 20, I made decent money doing random things like dancing and things like that, but I blew the money because it was my first time having money and I just didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't really have responsibilities yet. Basically, weeks go by and he's getting annoyed because I haven't slept with him. He is getting annoyed because when he leans in for a kiss, I'm like, no. And I can just tell that like my time is limited, because at first he was like, I just want to do all these things for you and nothing in return, and I want nothing from you, like you're an angel. And now it's like, oh well, I'm not giving you this until you give me what I want. And you know, trust me, just trust me, 99% of sugar daddies that say no expectations, oh baby, there's expectations. They're just coming further down the line once they get you reeled in and addicted to the money, because it's a power thing. By the way, if any sugar daddies are watching, I'm not shitting on you. Like, this is one experience. You might be an amazing guy. Anyone out there that has a sugar daddy, that's great. They probably are great, but this is just one experience. So don't think that I'm just like talking down on everyone and everyone's experience is the same, because it's definitely not. I was just the unlucky one. So I'm like, fuck, my time is limited. Like, he's not going to talk to me anymore. And I do have to leave parts of the story out because, like I said, I don't want to expose who he is or like give any details that are gonna make him, like, I don't even know, go crazy on me, because I just don't want to deal with it. Some time goes on and I get a job somewhere in my hometown, and girls there know who he is. And this one girl comes up to me, doesn't know that I talked to this guy, and goes, oh my god, the owner of blah 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 is so gross, and he has all these STDs and he gives them to girls, and like just all this stuff, right? So in my head, I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity to cut things off, because I had gotten like a couple thousand from him in the span of like, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 months of just like leading it on. I would not suggest leading someone on like that, but in the beginning he said no expectations, so I was going based off of what he said to me. I'm like, oh, perfect, okay, so I'm gonna go to him. I don't know why I thought like this, but I was like, I'm gonna go to him and I'm gonna tell him, look, we can't sleep together because this is what I'm being told about you. Why did I think that that would just go smoothly? Like, what? So I go to him, and next time that he propositions some things, I'm like, look, we cannot do that because this girl is telling me that you're going around and you're spreading this and that and whatever, right? And of course, he freaks out. He freaks out. Like, this man just, what? Like, he came unglued and he was like, who is spreading those rumors about me? That's a lie, and I get tested and I don't even know, like, diabetes, so I have to get my blood drawn, and I know that I have nothing. And like, he went crazy. And like, to be fair, he did give me like a decent amount of money anytime that I would just pull up, get money, leave. But he was always so like weird. Like, he has a lot of like weird mannerisms about him that were just kind of like, I did not feel comfortable around him at all. He liked to joke around and be mean. Since he's insecure, he would like project that, and so he would like make kind of like rude jokes about people because of like how he's feeling inside. And there was a lot about him that I was like, I could fucking never handle this. So anyways, I'm like, this is the perfect escape. And I tell him, and he tells me, you better tell me who told you that. Tell me right now, which I didn't even know the girl's name that told me. And I'm like, no, I'm not telling you. He is literally like a 16-year-old girl trapped in like a 45-year-old man's body, because he was like, oh, well then I'm not telling you what your friends are saying about you, and it's not my fault that all your friends want to fuck me. And I'm like, baby, all of my friends want your money. They want your money. They want to be able to come into work late. Like, no, they don't want to fuck you. He goes off and he's like, all your friends talk shit about you and they don't even like you, right? And so I'm like, okay, my hands are clean. I told him that I want nothing to do with him anymore. Do you guys hear that noise? And of course I'm a little annoyed, because I'm like, yeah, I bet like my friends at the time were pretty shady. Like, I bet they were talking to him, which is okay. Like, have fun with that. And so then I think that it's over with. Like, I think that I'm free. I got a couple racks from this dude. I didn't have to do anything. I just gotta live my life and just be free. But oh baby, I was sadly, I was so mistaken. I get a DM from the page that he has for his company. Like, I don't know what to call it, so I guess I'll call it a company, his business. And he is going off. And he is like, I know where your dad works and I am going to send him your nudes. And how would he feel if he saw his daughter's, like, first of all, that's really weird. Like, honestly, like, I didn't even think about it that way, but like he was wanting to send my dad my nude. Like, that's weird. Also, I was 18 and not living with my parents, so what would that have done? But the only thing it would have done is made my dad annoyed that some older man was being psycho to me. I'm like, hold up. By the way, he didn't have any like crazy nudes of me. Most of them were just suggestive pictures, because at the time, like, I wasn't who I am now. Like, it was probably like some lingerie pictures and whatever. And so I'm like, this grown ass Jabba the Hutt looking motherfucker wants to send my father my nudes. Is this what I'm dealing with today in my Taco Bell uniform on my lunch break? Yes? A fucking Muppet wants to send my dad my nudes? I should probably chill out, huh? So anyways, I was just like, look, I'm not telling you who told me any of that, but just to let you know, honey, since you're 45 and I'm 18 years old, I'm gonna educate you on the law, and actually threatening blackmail is illegal, and I will gladly take your bitch ass to court so that they can see that you camera angle keeps changing, but anyways, in my head I'm like, I will gladly take you to court and they can find out that you're blackmailing me and that you hire 17-year-olds in an establishment that is 18 plus, and that by law your employees have to do everything, but you have employees that just do one part of the job. This is not gonna make sense to anyone since I'm not providing context. So I'm like, yeah, let's run it, baby. Let's go, whatever. And as soon as I send him a screenshot of the law that says, hey, revenge porn, yeah, baby, that's illegal, he blocks me and doesn't speak to me again. And then he's messaging me on my phone and I block him. And my hands were wiped clean of this crazy sugar daddy. And in the moment it was like, wow, this is so awesome and this older man is giving me money. But honestly, I would give it all back if I didn't have to deal with like this stress. Like, cause yeah, it's funny, but to this day, like sometimes I get fucking pissed that like this older man took advantage of me being young and vulnerable and was trying to expose things to my father. Like, my dad's my best friend, like okay. I hope I didn't miss anything, but that's the story of the time that I found a sugar daddy on Tinder, and it absolutely did not turn out very well. I would not recommend. I would avoid my mistakes at all costs. And I mean, like, what am I here for? I'm like your guys' sister that has just done all the crazy shit, so you don't have to. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow Internet Girlfriend because I've been updating on when I'm releasing. I didn't write a script for this video or anything, so if it was a little crazy, I'm sorry, but I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys.